In an era where Dolby Atmos and high-end surround sound experiences, 3D audio experiences are the topic of the conversation, is 5.1 channel system still relevant? The answer might surprise you. But before we get into the discussion as to why 5.1 is relevant or not, let's go into some of the history of 5.1. So 5.1 became the industry average very quickly in the late 90s, and a lot of movies adopted it. And even till date, most of the content on OTT platforms is still mastered in 5.1. Dolby Atmos, on the other hand, came very recently. It came back in 2012, and it's been 13 years since Dolby Atmos came out. But the adoption rate is fairly low. Let's look at some of the numbers. Now, here's a fact. As of today, nearly 78% of OTT content is still in 5.1 surround sound. And this includes movies, TV shows, streaming platforms like Netflix, Prime, and Disney+. Even new blockbuster movies often have a 5.1 mix. People don't even experience Dolby Atmos to its full potential because you can make mistakes when you're placing your speakers or you haven't configured them properly. There's just too much going on. And when you go into virtualization sounds, especially with the new Atmos enabled soundbars, things can go quickly very, very wrong. So my point over here is that 5.1 is very much still relevant. I mean, look at the content. You have 80% of the content still in 5.1, and the 20% content which does exist in Atmos, at an average, an Atmos speaker is only enabled 10 to 20% of the times. So out of all the content hours that you will be watching in your life, only 1 to 2% of it, of your total listening hours, will you experience Dolby Atmos in it. So it's hard for me to recommend a Dolby Atmos to someone who is at a budget. If you're at a budget and you want to get the best bang for your buck, then definitely go with 5.1. There are no two ways about it. You might feel a little left out when you see the little Dolby Atmos or spatial audio icon near the movie or near the music you're listening to, but it's just to make you feel bad about it and to make you spend more on your system than you're required to. All in all, what I'm saying is that 5.1 is still relevant, and a 5.1 system costs roughly 1/4 of the price of a traditional Dolby Atmos system. You have to upgrade the amplifier to enable Dolby Atmos, and if your TV cannot transmit those signals, you need to upgrade your TV as well, which can give you the EARC signals that you need to enable Dolby Atmos. So there's just a whole lot of cost tied down to it. 5.1, on the other hand, is very easily accessible. I mean, if you have an optical cable, you can enable 5.1. And optical cables have been there in from the cheapest of the TVs to the most expensive of the TVs. So you cannot go wrong, at least with compatibility. With Atmos, you need to worry about what TV you're buying, what amplifier you're using, what speakers you need, and also, since you're powering up so many speakers, there might be a need for a power amplifier as well. So there are a lot of costs tied to Atmos, but on the other hand, you can experience 5.1 at a cheaper budget. And if you do want to increase your budget as well, you can go for a better speaker system, which will give you a more immersive experience. When it comes to practicality and also placement of speakers, if you want the true Atmos experience, you need to have overhead speakers. That means you have to do the entire wiring on the ceiling. You have to cut it all out. You have to buy those Atmos speakers, which do cost a lot. And not to mention that they're only active 10 to 20% of the times in the Atmos content you're watching. So all of this, and the result that you get is a little diminishing, I would say. If you upgrade from a 2.1 to a 5.1, it'll put a smile on your face. But if you upgrade from a 5.1 to a 5.1.2, you'll just say, okay, that's cool. That's about it. It doesn't seem like money spent wisely. That's all I'll say. Gaming and music. So this is somewhere where I might lean a little towards Atmos. So a lot of new age games, they come with Atmos support. And Atmos speakers during a game which is Atmos enabled are constantly working. So that is one experience that will put a smile on your face. So gaming in Dolby Atmos is worth it, I would say. And when it comes to music again, it's fine. I mean, spatial audio, fine, it's great, but it doesn't really make me miss 2.1 setup, to be honest. So let's get to the conclusion. Conclusion is, if you have the money and you're not stretching yourself thin, then definitely go for Atmos. That is the future. Most of the new content that you will be watching most probably will be in Atmos. And also, if you are into gaming and you want to experience Atmos and the 3D surround sound, then Atmos is really worth it. But on the other hand, if your content is mixed, you're watching old content, you're watching new content, you are on a budget, you really don't want to spend 2 to 3x of a 5.1 channel system budget, then stick to 5.1. Any content that you're watching online will support 5.1 and your system will be utilized 100% to its fullest extent. Also, let's say 5 years down the line, if you do want to upgrade to an Atmos, all you have to do is just change your amplifier, upgrade to an Atmos enabled amplifier, and put 2 height speakers. That's it. Your 6 speakers that you have with your current 5.1 will still be relevant. And that's my verdict.